Hi, I'm Saremy, and this is another Friday Sews where I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff I sewed this week and a whole lot of wild stuff. So as you can see, I finished the sleeveless top with the pin tucks. Turned out amazing. I love it. I don't get to keep it because this was a project that, Sonia Phillips sent me the book for free, which was really generous of her. And she sent me a bunch of her fabric stash, and then I got to kind of have her book. And then I'm sending back whatever I made. So I'm going to be sending her the crop top I made that was color blocked, and then this sleeveless top. So it's got the pin tucks and the one piece facing on the inside, ruffle, and the back has a back opening. And I'm going to put some buttons and buttonholes here. I was going to do some purl snaps, and I only have 5, and I think I need about 8. So unfortunately, I can't put snaps, and I think that would be so great on the back because at least then it might be a little easier to get on and off. And I think they'd be a little lower profile than buttons, so they'd be more comfortable. I guess that depends on what you use. So anyway, I love how it came out, and I'll show you the inside as well. So as you can see, I did the one piece facing. Sonia didn't request any much, barely request anything. I kind of said, do you have anything from your book that you really want to be able to, send people to for a demonstration? And she said, well, like pleats or the one piece facing might be really helpful. And so that's why I did the pleated cuffs on the crop top, and I did some pin tucks on this one, and then I did the one piece facing, so I made the shirt a sleeveless version. And I opted kind of for a combo of French seams and overlocking, and I think you could do either. I did end up top stitching this because the pleats were strong enough that they were going to be the dominant part, and then the facing was too weak to stay to the inside. It did pretty good, but I figured it's smart to just top stitch it down. And I think I'll probably do the armholes just so that it looks the same. And then the bottom is clean finished, except for all the threads that are coming out that I still need to trim off, or not really trim off, but there's like one right here. So anyway, it was an awesome project. I love sewing stuff like this, and now I have a pattern so that I can make me one, because I have that little top in my own closet. It's one of my last ready to wear pieces, and it is getting pretty threadbare. I've had it for so long, so I'm definitely going to copy this one and use it for me. So, and it's so bright and cheerful. Well, I finally finished this one project that I've been working on for months. A friend or another business really asked me if I would make some bags for their yarn club. And I said sure, because having extra money is always really helpful to keep the stream going. And so they ordered 96 of them, so I designed the bag. And then I also designed a fabric, which I'm completely a novice at, and I'm definitely having that uphill learning curve. I've been dabbling in fabric design for years, like a really long time, but it's just not something I've been able to put my full attention and effort to until a little bit recently. Like, I'm putting more effort to it. It's like I'm not getting the results that I really, really want. I really like how this came out. This is the little bag. It's all folded up right now. And I did this marigold print. And it has like a background there. And then this is like a little boxy bag, kind of with a twist, so you can use it sitting like this. I think I've showed you guys this before. It has the handle, and then the pocket kind of sits up a little bit. And I also made her a custom fabric for her club, and then the bag can stand on its end just like this, so the person knitting from it, the yarn can sit there, and then the project would sit on top to keep their project inside. So this will be in, I think, the next shipment, I think. So yeah, I had to make about 100 of these. I made plenty more than that because I had to do samples and fabric tests and color tests and things like that. So I'm really glad to finally be able to deliver these. It was an awesome, really fun project to do. So but it's also going to give me more time to work on some of the other things that I've got going on, because I keep chipping away at a couple patterns and other uploaded videos and stuff. So I got a couple of fabric samples in recently on a couple of my designs, and it was a good test because I wasn't sure, like the style that I did was a lot of dots, and I wanted to make a design inspired by this 40s paper print that I saw, and I couldn't quite remember it. And I was wondering, how small can the dots be and it still show up? So this is one of the companion prints, just a bunch of leaves made out of dots. And I printed it on Spoonflower's new cotton lawn, and it is washed. And I know probably a lot of people are wondering what it's like. And probably there's a few people that want to know what I think of it, because I've been ordering Spoonflower fabrics for a long time. And I'm a really big fan of their poplin that they used to have. It used to be called like ultra poplin or something like that. They used to also have Kona cotton, which was a little bit more like quilting cotton. And I feel like, as far as lawns go, this feels a lot more like a true poplin. Their poplin felt more like sheeting to me. And I think, honestly, when you're dealing with Spoonflower, and Spoonflower, if you don't know what they are a custom fabric printer. So you can design a fabric, upload it, and print it, and they have like 20 different fabric bases, like anything you can imagine practically, except for a rayon or a linen, which I would love for garment making. So I'm really excited that they added a fabric base that is more conducive to garment making rather than home dec or quilting or novelty items or bag making, because I feel like that's really their wheelhouse of their fabrics, which worked really well for my business. But as a garment sewist, I'd really like to be able to, take part in some of the fabrics for that reason, that purpose. So I really like this, but it's very crisp. You can probably even just hear it. And it's really going to depend on the design. So this design is solid ink. If it was a white background, I think it would be a little bit lighter and more drapey. It still has kind of a crisp feel to it. It feels very nice. It does feel like a very good quality fabric. It's very tightly woven. And I'm going to say that needle holes are going to be semi-unforgiving, just like the poplin used to be. But it also probably stays very, very accurate when you cut it. And I think that that's also a really important factor, especially if you're doing a lot of something of the same thing. So yeah, I kind of got enough to make maybe a dress or something, but it feels like it would have to be not fully structured, but somewhat structured. Like, I don't think I would make, say, a Charlie Kaftan out of this, which I feel like is a kind of a flowy dress. I would probably make something more like the Itch to Stitch Callie Spell dress. It's got a bodice and a waist seam and pleats, rather than gathers. I think a princess seam dress would work really well. I think you know where I'm going here. So something a little bit with a little bit of structure, but it could still be A-line or even bias cut would be really nice. So the other print of this little leaf series I had printed was this one. So there's 3 different prints, and I had a few different colors. And I had this one printed on a knit to maybe make a t-shirt. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know. And you can't, look at the dot. The dots didn't even show up in this leaf here. Let's see if I can find a leaf. Yeah, so there are dots in that leaf and you can't even see them. So like I said, I'm experimenting and trying to figure out. And I'm now not sure if I really want a t-shirt out of this. It doesn't seem like a good t-shirt print. So I'm still getting the hang of designing fabric. I did just come up with a new design that I really like. I think it actually looks like a fabric print. I think when you're dealing with Spoonflower, novelty is kind of queen there. If you do a fabric design with pugs on it, it's going to sell really well, as opposed to some sort of beautiful floral that you might see on a dress. Not to say that wouldn't, but like I say, a lot of their fabrics are more conducive to novelty and bag making, pet items, things like that. Upholstery, home deck, stuff like that. So anyway, that's kind of my dilemma. I'm kind of I haven't really talked much about these because I've kind of been semi-happy and semi-disappointed. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh, I did this thing, and then you get it and you're like, oh yeah, it does not come out how I planned on it. And I really thought I had gotten all my ducks in a row. I did the scale correctly, so, and I'm not a graphic artist, and I don't really want to be. I don't really want to be a fabric designer. Like, that seems like a dream job for somebody, but I don't think that would ever be something someone would ever want me to do. It's just one of those little things, like, I like figuring it out and kind of understanding it and dabbling in it for fun. Lately, it just hasn't been as much fun. So I've kind of set it aside, and I have a ton of fabric designs I've got all these strike-offs of, and I'm like, ugh, I've spent more money on this hobby right now without success than most hobbies, So I'm just gonna proceed cautiously, I guess is how I should put it. That's about all I did kind of in the sewing world this week. I've been definitely busy, but what's been kind of occupying our time mostly is my dog got sick. He ate a squeaker and ended up at the vet with emergency surgery, and he's still not home. So he went in on Saturday. The surgery went really great, but he had a little infection afterward. He wasn't eating. Things weren't moving, so they had to keep him. He was just kind of gorked out too. So he's going to be home soon, like in the next couple hours. And so I didn't do live streams this week so that I could be available just in case. I thought he'd be home on Sunday, then Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, and here it is Thursday. So I've been kind of waiting around and visiting him and stuff like that. And then in the meantime, like since that happened on Saturday night, we've had a bat in our bathroom. No idea how it got in there. Really tiny little thing, really small and fuzzy. And it didn't look sick or injured. I think they can really squeeze through, really small crevices, like 1/2 inch. So it might have squeezed through the skylights that's in our bathroom. I have no clue how it got in there. Maybe the window, and the windows, there's not a 1/2 inch gap, and I just don't know where this 1/2 inch gap is. So we had to get that out. And then we've had these baby foxes playing around the periphery of our yard. So they're really close to the house, and they've even, like, after I cleared out the section by this creek, I cleared it like of some brambles so that the cats could reach it for a drink or so. I saw them over there, and they were like, hey, let's go over there and play. And we were like, no, stop looking playful and cute. You need to stay over there. They're super adorable. Cricket got a couple of pictures. They are really, really fun to watch. I see them from upstairs in the bathroom because they love being in that little brush right there behind the house at the back of the property. And they climb trees. They're having a blast. They are having the time of their life, and I do not want them in my yard because I don't want to attract them. And plus, it's like 4 of them. So it's a lot of foxes, especially when my cats are like sleeping outside. We don't let our cat stay out at night, but sometimes he's really stubborn. He won't come in. He has no clue of the danger. It's awful. He's very stubborn. So, and on top of that, we've had the turkey with the babies wandering through, the quail with little golf ball sized babies walking through. I love, 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 love quail. We also had a deer. First time we've been seeing deer. We haven't seen deer in the entire year we've been here. And then in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been seeing a couple of deer, and then now we've just been seeing this one. He's very young. He has horns or antlers, but no prongs. And they're still definitely covered in fuzz. I was trimming that little area by the creek the other day on Monday, and he came right up to me and wanted me to pet him. He put his head down. He was kind of nudging up to me. So I started petting him. My daughter's almost freaking out, and I was just kind of like, whoa, I don't think I've ever petted deer in the wild. This is nuts. Maybe he was bottle fed. There's an animal foundation nearby, and we've heard that they do let rehabilitate and release animals. That would be shocking to me because I don't know, I just don't think they would do it right there in the neighborhood, so not that it's a neighborhood, it is very, very rural, but you know what I mean. It just feels like I don't know anything about animal rehabilitation. I will say I come from a long line of Dr. Doolittles. Me and my mom especially are just kind of fearless when it comes to animals. The animals always love us. I'm kind of reckless about it. I will go up to anything. I won't just reach out and touch it. I'm not dumb. I'm just, I'm cautious, but at the same time, I'm not afraid at all. I've made every animal I've ever come across like me, and I walk up to doggies and give them little doggy massages. I'm just one of those people that just loves animals, and they love me, and animals can sense it. And so I don't know why this guy picked me, but he did, and he kept coming around, and then we'd be like, oh, I guess he's moved on. Good. We don't really need to attract prey, big prey, to our yard, because there are bobcats, and there's these foxes, and there's mountain lions in the area. But then all of a sudden, we'd be walking by, and like, whoa, there he is. He's like laying right there under the deck, you know, like he's so still and so relaxed you don't even notice him. And then I just saw him laying under the canopy by the front lawn, you know. So I named him George, kind of jokingly, and he, you know, I even scolded him for, you know, he came up to our tomato plant, so I was like, don't eat that, George. And he was all stopped, and I was like, and he'd stop, and then he'd nibble, you know, George. He'd stop, and he stomped his foot at me. So he's definitely been around people. He's kind of a character. I don't know where he's at right now, but he's probably around watching us, and we don't even know it. So that's been kind of nuts, you know, between a bat, the foxes, and this deer, all since Sunday morning, and today's Thursday, and then Loki at the same time being in the hospital, and we're trying to manage that. It's just been kind of weird. So I'm really glad I took the live stream break, even though I hate doing that, because I really needed some flexibility. And time has been so weird because of all these weird things kind of popping up. So I hope that you guys are getting a lot of sewing done. I know people are probably spending more time outside, and rightfully so. It's just glorious. It's kind of cooler here today. It's only 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's supposed to ramp up again to well over 100 soon. So it's time to do the indoor sports again, right? So, all right, well, I hope this finds you all well, and you'll see me back next week. I'm starting the cargo shorts by Wardrobe by Me, and after that, I do the chinos. So I'm really looking forward to those, and I'm really looking forward to having these bags done so I can start doing some more uploaded videos. I have so many that have just been waiting for me to get to them. So that'll be great to get back to that. So I hope you guys are well. Thanks for watching, and shout out to Today and Jen's Sewing Room for starting Friday sews. I really, really enjoy them. And you know, I wanted to share with you that I think his name is Dwayne McLeod. Oh, I hope I have his name right. He started a YouTube channel, I'll put it here on the screen, called Mainly Menswear. He's in Maine, and so he just started a YouTube channel if you want to check out what he's up to. I don't know if he knows about Friday sews yet. Maybe we can get him involved. And yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are all well. Take care. Bye.